Hi everyone, my name is Sarah Desamores and today I'm going to be breaking down the entire home buying process in Miami. It might be different from state to state, from country to country, but if you're looking to purchase in Miami, this video really is for you. Whether you're a local here in Miami or moving from another city, another state, even another country, this video is for you. I'm actually going to be talking to you like I'm talking to a friend or to someone I met, at a restaurant or a bar or at the airport. I'm really gonna take it easy, I'm gonna take it slow, and I'm gonna break it down for you. So I've been a realtor in Miami here for 9 years already. And the majority of my career, I worked mostly with buyers. I would say that since the pandemic, that has shifted. Now it's almost 50-50, but from 2015, which is the moment I got my real estate license, up until 2020, I had 80% of buyers. So buyers are some of my favorites, especially when they're motivated and they allow me to help them. I think it's like that for anything in life. When you have a relationship, for a business relationship, you're both on the same page, it always goes well. And a lot of my buyers are some of the people that are the dearest to my heart and that I still have a good relationship with. I help them every step of the way. I even have some buyers that I started working with when they were living in another country, and by the time they moved to Miami, they moved into their home. This video is for you. So what I'm gonna do, I'm going to break down the entire home buying process, and in the end, I'm gonna talk about some frequently asked questions. If you have more questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I have a link below where you can schedule some time to speak to me, or either over the phone or via Zoom. So if you have any other questions, you can also comment on this video. I'll be happy to help. Don't forget to like and share this video and subscribe to my channel for more tips on Miami, what's going on, and more information when it comes to real estate. I am here to help simplify your home buying journey. Miami is completely different than any other cities. Even if you're telling me West Palm Beach or Tampa, I have friends that are in different states and different cities. In Miami, I personally think that Miami should be its own country. Things are completely different here. I would tell you that more than half of my clients are not local, so the entire home buying process is often completely different than someone in Wisconsin, for example. You have a lot of people buying homes that are vacation homes, a lot of investments, and you have a lot of people moving from different countries or different states, either because of work or because of school or because of the tax advantage, amongst many other reasons. The first step is the initial consultation. I personally, as a realtor, will not start sending listings or send a bunch of information or connect someone, even to a lender, without the initial consultation. It is extremely important, okay? For example, when you go to the doctor's, he's not just going to give you a prescription. He needs to hear about your symptoms. You guys need to have a conversation to make sure that you guys are on the same page, right? So that consultation is so important. It helps me get to know the buyer as a person, as a family. It helps me learn what they like, what they don't like, what are non-negotiables, or are they looking for a condo? Are they looking for a townhouse? Are they looking for a house? What is their expectation? Are they expecting to purchase a home to hold it on to forever? Are they looking to purchase an investment? Are they maybe just getting out of a divorce and just looking to start over and looking for a condo? Do you have a family? Are the school districts important to you? Did you already start looking at schools? For example, if you're looking at a particular school, for example, there's a school called Country Day, right? If you're looking into Country Day school for your kids because you have friends that sent their kids there, if you've heard great things about this school, but then you want to move to Palmetto Bay, it's going to be an hour and a half commute every day. So I need to get to know you more, because the more I get to know you as a buyer, the better I can help you. So that consultation can be done either over the phone or via Zoom, and expect it to be 30 to 60 minutes, depending on how many questions you have as a buyer. I've also had people come in person for that consultation, meet me at the office. That's something we can do. If you prefer to have this consultation in person, you can meet me at my office, or we can meet at a cafe so that we can discuss. Another thing that's very important about the consultation, you want to make sure that you schedule it with me or someone on my team, but not just you alone. Whoever is a decision maker to the home buying purchase should come to that consultation, unless the other person really doesn't give a damn, right? It happens, but most of the time, if you're a couple, you want to make sure that both of you guys are there, or if you're if you're an investor purchasing with a business partner and whatnot, it's ideal that you and your business partner, whoever is making decisions, is present at the consultation so that we can all be on the same page. Once we are done with the consultation, I am more than happy to answer all of the questions that you have. In fact, I suggest that you bring a list of your questions to that consultation so that we can tackle all of them from the beginning. Once we're done with the consultation, it is a very, very important part of the process before we even start looking, before I connect you to a lender and all of these things, is that we need to sign a buyer brokerage agreement, which is basically a document where we both agree that we're gonna work together. I'm sure a lot of you guys heard about the commission settlement and whatnot, and those are all things we're gonna talk about during the consultation, right? If you want the seller to pay for the commission, that's one thing we can discuss. If you have a maximum that you can pay me as a buyer, as a buyer's agent, those are all things that we can discuss during our consultation. So once we're done with the consultation, and if I've answered all of your questions and you truly feel like I'm the right realtor for you, if you truly feel like I can go ahead and hold your hand throughout the entire process, our next step is to sign the buyer brokerage agreement, which is basically our contract that states that you allow me to represent you as a real estate agent. The buyer brokerage, which allows me to represent you as a real estate agent. So will I move forward without a buyer brokerage agreement? Unfortunately not, because I take this job really, really seriously. You're not going to get all of the commitment from your real estate agent if you don't have that. Once we have that agreement in place, I know for sure that you want to work with me, that you're not going to be shopping around with a bunch of realtors, but what you get in return is my 120% full commitment, and not just from me, but from me, from my full-time assistant, from my entire team. You're gonna have an entire team to help you throughout this process. You'll have access to me, to my personal phone. You'll have access to my email. I'll be there to answer your questions, and you'll be connected to my entire network. So yes, we do need a buyer brokerage agreement. And keep in mind that that buyer brokerage agreement, if for some reason you're unhappy with my services and for everything that we'll do to help you, if we don't connect, I'm more than happy to cancel that agreement. I never hold on to things in a way that makes people feel like, oh my God, I'm stuck with her. Up to now, I haven't really had that happen, but that's another story. So once we've done the consultation, you've signed the agreement, we both agree to work together, the next step is, no, I'm not gonna be sending you properties. Depending, I need to know if you're gonna be financing or if you're going to be paying cash. If you're gonna be paying cash, we need to have a realistic discussion about the budget, okay? If you're telling me, listen, I have $400,000 cash, but I want a 3-bedroom waterfront condo in Brickell, I'm gonna have to unfortunately tell you that that doesn't exist. Maybe that existed in like 2009, but right now we're in 2024 and the prices have gone up significantly in Brickell. If you're financing, right, I need to know, have you already been pre-approved for a mortgage? If you have been pre-approved for a mortgage, what kind of mortgage is it? Can I see that pre-approval letter so that I can know if you're approved for a conventional loan, an FHA loan, and VA loan? That is really important to me, because if you're looking for a condo, for example, and you have an FHA approval, that's going to be very difficult. A lot of condos in Miami are not FHA approved. Let's say you want to finance, you have your down payment ready, or you have an idea of how much you want to pay monthly. I am more than happy to connect you with an amazing lender, okay? A mortgage lender, someone who's going to shop around for you, someone who's going to pull your credit, someone who's going to be there to answer all of your questions when it comes to the mortgage side, okay? So I have so many different lenders depending on your situation. If you're a first-time home buyer, even if you're a foreign national, meaning that if you live in another country and you want to put 30+% down, I can connect you with a lender who can actually get you a loan for that. Even if you live in Africa, in Europe, or in the Caribbean, wherever you live in the world, I have a lender who can finance you. However, when it comes to foreign national loans, you have to put way more money down. You can't put 5% down. It doesn't work like that. This is the most important step, okay? The budget, like you can't go shopping if you don't have a budget. This is just, it's like that in real life. You can't go do the groceries and give your debit card if you don't know how much money you have on your account. It's the same thing for shopping for a property, okay? I can't start sending you listing if you just give me a ballpark. I don't work with, unless you're cash and you've let me know, listen, I have X amount of cash. I can't just send you properties based on a ballpark. I need more information. Even if you're paying cash. So if you're paying cash, I would want to make sure that you have some proof of funds, right? I've had clients that told me they were millionaires, and then when it was time for us to put in an offer, they couldn't give me the proof of funds. Why would I give an offer without a proof of funds? Why would I, as a seller, just think about the sellers or the other agents representing the sellers. Imagine getting a cash offer, but there's no proof that the person has that cash. It doesn't make sense, okay? So yes, I can introduce you to a lender. And guess what? Even if you have a pre-approval, I'm also happy to still introduce you to a lender so you can shop around and find the best mortgage with the best rate, whatever works best for you. At the end of the day, you want to have an amazing experience. And one thing I want to say is that you may have gotten pre-approved before by your bank or whatnot, but I still suggest talking to a local lender. Local lenders in Miami, they know what's up, they know about the flood zones, they know about the condo laws, they know about some condo assessments. They're very familiar with that. However, there are some lenders, and I'm not going to name them, there are some lenders who are not local and they're going to freak out when it comes to Miami condos. So especially if you're looking to buy a condo, I suggest that you ask me for some recommendations of lenders that have a proven track record to actually get the condo closed, okay? So once we're done with the budget, we know how much you can afford, we can now go back to the initial consultation that we had and we can discuss neighborhoods, right? So let's say you had an idea in your mind of a certain neighborhood that you wanted. Depending on your budget, we might stay in that neighborhood, we might expand, or we might change neighborhoods completely based on your budget. So to give you an example, let's say you're approved for, you thought you were going to be approved for $500,000, $600,000. You weren't sure about it, and you wanted to be down south, right? Let's say you were looking at Kendall, or you were looking at areas around Kendall, but now we get a pre-approval and we see that you can go up to $1.2 million. That significantly changes your budget. Now we can look into Palmetto Bay. We might look at some properties even closer to Pinecrest. It just changes the neighborhoods completely, and we might also have to readjust your criteria. That's totally okay, because at the end of the day, we want to make sure that we go with the criteria that you initially wanted and that we stay within budget, because we have to discuss what's realistic and what's not. And my favorite part, that is when I start sending you some listings, okay? What I do is that I'll go through the entire MLS. I'll look at properties on the market. I'll look at properties that are off market. I do have access to that. With Compass, we have a tool called Private Exclusives, meaning that you'll have access to properties that are not even on the market yet, that are, properties that are listed with other Compass agents, but that have not been put in the public. So that's one of your advantages of working with me or someone on my team. I'll also be putting you on a safe search so that you can get properties that fit your criteria whenever they hit the market. And then once I send you those properties, you can favorite the ones you like, you can ask me questions about it, you can comment on the properties, I'll see it on my end, and we can communicate that way. Once I send you properties, please make sure to give me feedback, because that's going to help me. If you tell me, you know what, I want newer houses, you know what, after looking at what you sent me, I'm okay with a fixer-upper. So please feel free to send me more fixer-uppers. I'd rather pay less and put some money into renovations or whatnot. Please give me feedback. That is the most important thing that you can do. If you like everything I sent you, even better. However, if you start liking like 30 properties, I might ask you to narrow it down to your top 10 favorites so that we don't overwhelm you when doing showings. Once you like a few properties, it's time to set up some tours. That actually is my favorite part. So my favorite thing about being a realtor is visiting properties, whether it's houses, condos, investment properties. That's my favorite part. I like to be out there. I like to look at houses. I like to look at apartments. I love doing that. So whenever clients tell me, oh my God, so sorry to bother you with all these showing requests, I'm just like, no, you're not bothering me at all. I love love doing showings. So what I do is that I work around your schedule and I accompany you with all the showings. I'm not gonna let you go there on your own. Of course, there might be a situation where you're going to an open house or you were just driving around and you go to an open house. That's totally different. We can discuss that if that's a potential situation. Please text me, please let me know about it. But usually we'll do the showings together. If you're from out of town, if you're from another city, state, or country, I am more than happy to do virtual tours for you. So what I'll do is I'll take my phone, I'll go visit the property for you, I'll take a couple of videos and send them to you, that way we can review them together. I've had clients that not only want me to do videos for them, but they also want me to FaceTime them. So we can set up a time. If I tell you, for example, I'm going to look at the properties from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. on Saturday, I need you to be available during those hours so I can FaceTime you while I'm there. Okay, now we found a property for you. So now it's time to make an offer. We found a property that you like. I have the offer document, we're ready to go. Am I just gonna write up the offer based on what you tell me to put on the offer? Not necessarily, okay? It's my job, and it's very important to do some research to make sure that we make an offer that makes sense, but that's competitive at the same time, because our goal is to get you into the property. I have clients, I've had people get me a deal, get me a deal, get me a deal. Even a good deal might require me to tell you, hey, we still have to offer full price because they're gonna have multiple offers. We wanna make sure that we win this offer, right? If you want this property, my goal is to get you to get that property. Okay, so once I've ran my numbers, we've agreed on a potential price, I will advise you on what kind of offer to make, how to make it. I'm not going to tell you too much about my strategies. That's really reserved for my clients. Once we have our consultation and that we work together, I have a really good strategy for a negotiation. I have a good strategy for offers, and especially if it's your dream home, I know what to do. So I'll be guiding you through the entire process, and I'll send you the offer to sign via DocuSign. Sometimes there might be other documents like condo docs, or if the home is in a community with an association, you might have another homeowners association addendum. I'll be sending everything over to you for signature. If you have any questions, please call me, text me. We'll go over the entire document before I submit the offer for you. This is actually really exciting. I love submitting offers for people. There are 3 very important periods during this contract if you're financing, and there's 2 important periods if you're paying cash. So let's talk about the common periods. The first one is the deposit. You know, on the contract, you agree to put a deposit down, and that deposit is going to be deducted from the total in the end. For example, if you buy a house cash for $1 million, you do a deposit of $100,000 within the first 3 days. At the end of the contract, you'll only have to pay $900,000, right? The $100,000 is going to be deducted. So you have 3 days to send that through a wire or a check. Most attorneys prefer wires. It's easier to track. The second period that's common is the inspection period. So it's a period that ranges anywhere from 5 days to 14, 15 days, depending on what we agree on. So you can do all of your inspections. You can do your 4-point inspection, which is required for any type of insurance. You can do your full inspection. You can do your mold inspection. Whatever inspector you want to send during that time, send them. Okay, don't send them after, because that inspection period is a period where if there's anything that happens or anything that you're not happy with the results of the inspection, you can negotiate that with the seller, or you can back out of the deal depending on what happens. The inspection period is also a period where you can back out of the deal with no reason at all and get your deposit back, okay? It is one of the only periods of the contract that you can do this. Now, if you're financing, you also have a financing period, which is usually around 20 to 30 days. This is a period where you have to submit everything to your lender. The lender will do an appraisal, which is basically an evaluation of what the property is worth. You have to just submit everything, and then on the financing deadline, that is when your bank or your mortgage lender has to give a conditional approval. If for any reason something happens financially, let's say you lose your job, or anything that happens where your lender gives you a denial letter, during that period and that period only, you can get your deposit back. You can cancel the contract and get your deposit back. If the lender decides to give you a denial after that period, you're in deep trouble. You could lose your deposit. So very careful to do everything your lender tells you to do. Very important to respect the deadlines. We actually have a whole process to make sure that you don't miss those deadlines, which is what you'll learn when you work with me. All of those periods are called your due diligence periods. By the way, when it comes to other professionals, if you're looking for a mold inspector, an attorney, if you're looking for a tax specialist, an accountant, anyone that you're looking for, I can connect you to someone who can help. I have an amazing network of professionals. I've met so many people over the years that I've been a realtor, and I'm very picky with who I work with. So I can definitely refer you to any type of professional, either here or even around the world. I'm actually part of a professional network called BNI. I've been part of it for 8 years now. So it gives me access to amazing professionals around the world. So whoever I refer you to, it's because I've already talked to them, I've vetted them, and I made sure that we work well together and that they actually deliver. I think that's the most important. You have people that say, oh, I can do this, I can do that, but then when it comes to delivering, they're just slow or they're unresponsive. Anyone that I refer you to, I've already worked with, I already know that they're good. So rest assured, okay? You don't have to worry about that. Okay, so now we're good to go. We're ready to close. What happens? We have a final walkthrough. So a day or two before closing, sometimes the morning of closing, what we'll do is that we'll walk through the entire property that you chose to buy, and we want to make sure that everything is in place. If during the inspection there were some repairs to be made, we want to make sure that those repairs were made. And actually, sometimes you may need a re-inspection depending on the situation. We just want to make sure that the house or the condo looks exactly what it looked like when we last saw it, okay? We want to make sure that the property you're buying just looks how it looked like the last time we saw it. Once everything is good to go, I make you sign the final walkthrough. Oh, and by the way, again, if you're not in town, I will virtually do the final walkthrough for you. I'll make a video, I'll send it to you. If there's anything that's not working or if there's any issue, I'll make sure to point it out. But you know what? Most of the times, again, I've been lucky, I've been very lucky. Usually at the final walkthrough, things are good to go. And then it's time to close. So you have to go to the attorney's office or the title company's office, sign all of your documents, and then once everything is funded, meaning that the seller has received their proceeds or the wires have been sent, your bank sent the money to the attorney. By the way, the attorney holds all of the money in escrow. That deposit you made at the beginning, it's not to my account, it's not to a friend's account, it's to the attorney's account who holds everything in escrow. So once all of the funds are sent to the attorney and they've disbursed everything the way that they're supposed to, you get the keys to the property and then you can move in. This is the best part. It is the most rewarding part. And even if you don't, oh, by the way, even if you don't live here or if you're not able to make it for the closing, let's say you have a business trip somewhere else, we can send a mobile notary so that you can do the closing anywhere in the world. I've had closings done in Colombia. I've had closings done in Montreal, Canada, in France. It's pretty awesome what we can do with technology. Okay, now let's go to some frequently asked questions. If you have more questions, please schedule a consultation with me or feel free to leave a comment below. I'll be more than happy to help you to the capacity that I can help you, but the best way is to contact me directly if you want to know more. How long does the home buying process usually take in Miami? So each case is different. It depends on your goals. It depends on what you're looking for. But from the moment that you get under contract until closing, the process usually takes 30 to 45 days. The process usually takes between 30 to 60 days, depending on your situation. If you're buying pre-construction, it could be a couple of years until you close. What are the estimated closing costs when buying in Miami? So, except for your down payment, expect to pay anywhere between 2% to 5% of the purchase price for closing costs. That includes attorney fees, title searches, title insurance, inspections, appraisals, loan costs, etc. Do you need to work with an attorney or can you work with a title company in Florida? So in Florida, it is not required for you to specifically work with an attorney for the closing. However, I highly suggest it, because having an attorney review the contracts with you, or if there's any type of hiccup that happens, having an attorney that already knows about the contract, that already knows the situation, is usually really helpful. And plus, if you have additional legal questions, they're one phone call or one email away. What are property taxes like in South Florida? So when it comes to property taxes, expect to pay 1.5% to 2% of the purchase price, approximately. That rate can vary based on location, it can vary based on exemption. For example, if it's your primary home, you get a homestead exemption, etc. If you want more details when it comes to taxes, I'm happy to connect you with a tax specialist. But a lot of the information on taxes and exemptions and whatnot can be found on miami-dade.gov. Can you buy a home in Miami as a non-US resident? Absolutely, you can buy a home. However, if you're looking to finance, as I mentioned earlier, you'll have to put more than usually 25 to 30% down. I've seen some lenders even require 35% down. If you're buying a condo, is there anything specific that you need to know? So yes, when you're buying a condo, what you need to know is that you need to pay a monthly condo fee. That condo fee covers all of the amenities, usually covers the insurance of the exterior walls of your unit. Sometimes it includes cable, internet, or whatnot, and that's something we can discuss during our consultation. What about flood zones and flood zone insurance? So depending on where you're purchasing your property, the property might be located in a flood zone area. By the way, that's a lot of areas in Miami. I don't want people to get scared because of this. We live close to the water. It is what it is. So if you're looking to purchase a property that is in a flood zone, flood insurance might be required. I'm more than happy to connect you with an insurance specialist who can guide you throughout the entire process and answer your questions about the potential cost. I don't want to get too deep into insurance because I am not a licensed insurance agent. I know amazing professionals who can help you, but I can't talk too much about it. Is it possible to invest in a short-term rental in Miami? Yes, but there is a but. Certain areas do not allow it at all, and a lot of condo buildings do not allow it. Miami Beach, for example, does not allow short-term rentals in most places. They don't even allow 3-month rentals. So in Miami Beach, most of Miami Beach, the rental restrictions are 6 months plus a day at the minimum. A lot of condo buildings also don't allow short-term rentals that are shorter than 30 days, for example. So if you're looking to do Airbnb or daily rentals, make sure that you talk to me about it, and don't just buy a condo in whatever building and expect to be doing Airbnb just like that if they don't allow it, because the fines are crazy, okay? You can get a crazy fine. You might even get kicked out of the building. And if that's really something that you're looking for and you really want a condo for that, I highly suggest going into pre-construction, because there are some amazing projects coming to Miami that allow daily short-term rentals. If you're looking to purchase with the goal of doing Airbnb, short-term rentals, I highly suggest getting a pre-construction unit, because that was a need that we had in Miami because a lot of buildings don't allow it. So there's going to be a lot of pre-construction projects that allow it. And I'm more than happy to suggest a couple of upcoming buildings that I personally really like. So what happens if you're not satisfied with the home inspection? You have different options. Remember, the home inspection is a due diligence period. You can either request for the seller to make some repairs. You can request additional inspections. For example, if the inspector says, oh, I think there might be mold somewhere or whatever, you can send a mold inspector. And another thing you can do, let's say the repairs are too substantial or whatever the situation is, you can always walk away you can always walk away from the transaction and get your deposit back. I'm looking to buy a condo and I'm not in a rush. Should I buy a resale or a pre-construction unit? It really depends. So that's a great question. It really depends on your goals. It depends on your budget, especially, and it depends on what you prefer. I had clients that they came to Miami, they actually live in Seattle. They came here, they were looking to buy a condo, which is a vacation home, and we couldn't really find anything that fit their needs. And then they ended up buying a pre-construction unit, but it was a pre-construction unit that would be ready in about a year and a half. So because they weren't in a rush, the pre-construction unit fit what they were looking for more. They specifically wanted a corner unit, they wanted a specific view, they wanted a specific floor and finishes, so that worked perfectly for them. So that's something that we can discuss, and I am here to help. So if you'd like to schedule a consultation with me, if you're looking to buy in Miami, Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel for more tips. So if you're looking to purchase a property in Miami, whether it's an investment property or your home or a vacation home, whatever it is that you're looking for, schedule a consultation with me. You have the link below to schedule some time to talk to me. You can always email me or message me, DM me on Instagram if you have any additional questions, and I'm more than happy to help you. Don't forget to like and share this video and subscribe to my channel for more tips on the real estate process or things going on in Miami just in general. Bye!